impressive. If it were not for COG's team play, they were still losing these lanes. So individually, Team WE is coming out ahead of COGU almost across the board. And we had that question earlier actually about the rest of the tournament, who is going to be the MVP. And just thinking back, so much of it has been in the top lane. There's been Toys in the mid, and probably had that amazing 400 meters picking. But the top lane is Shy, Macnoon, even Chow Mei now, they're really coming out strong. Stanley.
Against Macnoon, you know, he may have, I'd say, lost a lane, but he was only 0-1, and he kept him in control.
He really did, and it's just a matter of the top laners that are good, and you've seen it here, Wicked is definitely one of them. When they fall behind, they don't lose the game. They keep their farm up. They always find ways to contribute in team fights. And it's an interesting watching these top lanes because so much of it is about camping and 2v1s, and at least what we've heard is top lane is toxic or something, and you gank the top lane too often, it's unwinnable for someone. All they have to do is freeze the lane. But the very top players, the masters of top lane, aren't letting that affect them. When they match up against each other, it's pretty even, almost regardless of the games.
I mean, we looked at the bottom lane, certainly in this game. Yellow P has not had, let's not just focus on Yellow P. Yellow P and Crepo have struggled somewhat in that bottom lane. Wei Zhao, we look at Kane and Prey, the Magic Sword, they definitely outperform in those games.
When I was talking,
they're going to do?
I was talking actually with Mistake. This was ways back when he was at the Riot Games World Invitational. We asked him, who's the best AD? And he said, this guy's, because he was sitting next to Messiah, who was on Team WE. He was talking about Wei Zhao over 3 or 4 months ago. And it's impressive to watch because Yellow Peak and Crepo have so long been just almost the standard in Europe for how good they're able to farm, how long they can get to late game. And they are just getting out-farmed by Wei Zhao and FCZF. So it's just, to get back into this game for them, you want to say Snoopy would have to help, but I don't think that would work just because of how strong the ward coverage is coming up from FCZ. They probably just need to adapt. The Ezreal pick didn't really work for or against. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do. If they do something sneaky, if they see it as a problem, I'd see them going to a non-conventional, go away from the big 3. I know that Yellow Pete's been practicing a lot of Varus. Crepo said, we should just done Varus. He's back in the group stage early on. If they pulled that out, I would be excited to see, but even, that's kind of what DJ we talked about earlier. You got to be careful when you pull those things up, because the fans love to see it, but are you really ready for it?
Yeah, are you really ready? Are the rest of the team ready? That's the question. I mean, so when we look at that, Wei Zhao definitely one of the stronger. What sort of bans are they going to go with in this one? We saw Blitzcrank banned out in the last game. Very much successful ban, they have to say, because they won.
I think it's going to be much like we saw in the first game, where the winning team will keep the same bans, and the losing team will switch it up a bit. So COG, if I had to think back, they're going to go Orianna ban, Twisted Fate ban, and Blitzcrank ban. I think that's going to be the same. The only variation of that is if they first pick one of the things they don't ban, because they've probably swapped back to that. From World Elite side, I think the first 2 bans are very much going to stay the same. They're going to make sure they get rid of Aurelia, and they're going to make sure they get rid of Nidia. Alistair, maybe not so much, because Snoopy's early ganks, even on Maokai, who's very strong, haven't really paid off for them. They could give up the Alistair, or just, I don't think they're that fearful of it. This is just total speculation. The players had to run to the bathroom real fast, so that's why we're rambling on here.
Mine was up there.
Oh, sneaky. Well, I agree.
Meanwhile, the production want me to tell you how to make a cup of tea. That, you know, I could tell you I could go on forever, but I do like my tea. It's the English thing. But, I mean, we talk about the lanes. So the ban's coming out. Now, CLG going to be the blue team coming into this one. They're going to have the first pick. What sort of pick do you think they can aim at? They picked up Jace last time. It was successful in its way, but they allowed Shen out there, and Shen nearly split push them. If it wasn't that crazy aggression to get that inhibitor, really force Shen back, Shen would have had that inhibitor. They would have got first in the team.
COG is okay with Shen, as far as I've seen. Even going way back to when Shen was 100% pick ban. It was often COG who would let him and then try to beat him up. If we see anything interesting from the first pick, it's going to be them picking something that World Elite wants before them. We saw it with the Blitzcrank potentially from WE in the game that didn't end up ending, and we could very well see it again.
We could very well see it again. So, what sort of team comp do you think they're going to go for? If they can't get the Blitzcrank, you know, they've just tried the 4-man ganks, I guess you could say. As soon as we saw the Nocturne Shen, we knew what was coming. How are they going to switch it up against CLG? They tried the lane swap in the game that got disrupted. now, is that going to come into their mind? Are we going to be thinking, oh damn, we were winning that game. We've just lost this one. We've shown them so many different tactics effectively. What else have they got in their bank? And more importantly, how practiced is it?
WWE is going to come up with just things that can initiate. I think they're very practiced at making games and getting ahead, and it's just a matter of making sure they don't get outcomped. Masai plays a very mean Morgana. That starts team fights. Guarantee you their jungler can pay Skarner. That starts team fights. They just need hard initiating champions. Really, those are big ones if they got a Maokai. Just anything you can actually get on top of and disable someone for this extended period of time is going to be what they favor. That's pretty much it.
And more importantly, what do the teams that have been knocked out already take away from this one? I mean, they're going to be sitting here. They're effectively watching the best of the world. You know, we're in the World Finals, the World Playoffs. The teams that are in the current situation in the semi-finals, the Azubu Frosts, the Taipei Assassins, the Moscow Fives, they are now the top four of the world. There's no disputing. You know, we can't say, oh, but they did this and they did that. This is fact. Offline, playing each other. Everybody is scrimmed. Everybody's practiced for days on end, weeks, months, years to get to this point. So now we have three of the top teams in the world. COG is going to get there. What are the teams that didn't? What do they take from this? How do they adopt things that maybe haven't worked for them? Do they talk to the teams? I know for a fact, you know, it's like school. To be honest, everybody talks to everyone. As soon as something happens within these teams, everybody knows about it because they all talk to each other. So how do they adapt?
A lot of this could just be about finding your strategy and kind of mastering it, because COG, EU, if they win this one, they're the masters of playing their exact game and taking it late. You look at Moscow 5, they're the ones who try to bring out these strategies, just pick what they call, you know, we just picked the broken heroes, as Alex said in the interview yesterday. They bring out something new almost every tournament, so what they do is they like to innovate, they like to create things. We see Taipei Assassins, they win fast, they know how to end games, they pick the early game stuff, and it's just finding your identity, making sure you have the right practice regimen, making sure you can adapt to these situations. It's hard to think about because you don't really prepare for these long kind of stalls, but you have to find ways to mess up your mental state almost and just be able to deal with it. The teams are engaging a lot early on and just fighting with each other. It's going to be rough. So here we go, guys. I think we might finally be in a champs select.
We are into the picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of CLG versus Team WE is about to get underway, and the bans coming out thick and fast already. Twisted Fate and a Nivea ban. You don't need to know who's done it.
We knew exactly that was going to happen in every game, and now when the bans come back here, what's going to happen? There's the Blitzcrank ban. So like we said, COG EU's ban's probably going to stay the same. What's WE going to switch up? There's the Alistair. Will they let Aurelia through, or will they just give COG EU first pick of their choice?
Count the first picks. I'd be surprised if they let Aurelia through. It's really on COG. Will they ban out? Will they ban towards Shen? Will they ban towards Jace? Will they stick with the standards? At the moment, just waiting for the final ban. What would you think it's going to be? What, you got 3 seconds?
This final ban is going to be... Whoa, not sorry. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say Orianna. So what this means is that COG, seriously, if they don't have Orianna banned by WE, they're going to want to be flogged. So there's no way they beat it with how bad it destroyed the
So now they're forcing it. They're saying, you either ban Orianna or you ban Aurelia. We are going to get flogged.
I think that's what they're going to do. I could be proven wrong, but that's the prediction. There's a Maokai ban, so that's the back and forth. Now they get one of the two.
So, do you want Orianna? Do you want Aurelia? I know what Wicked would be choosing. Wicked would be saying, oh, I want to lock Aurelia in. But instead, it is going to be Orianna picked up. That's going to be Froggen's mid lane already selected. So, will Aurelia get taken away by Team WE? I know it'll be pretty sad if it does. And Xiao Mei is going in. However, if anyone knows how to play against Aurelia, it's going to be Wicked.
And it's going to be so fun to watch here because we see this happen occasionally. I know Ocelot's tried to pick a Nivea away from Froggen. It hasn't worked out in the past. I've very rarely seen someone's bread and butter champion away from them and be able to turn it around against because they know it way too well. Wicked knows what he has trouble against, and because he's played so much of it, he'll realize why